Today's the day we've all been waiting for. We're finally going to put together everything that we've been learning the last few weeks. We're going to start with your bow. Just as a reminder, check your bow grip. You want to have that thumb curved underneath, first two fingers over the stick all the way to the first line, first finger resting on the first line, and your pinky on the tip. Not out here on the tip, but here you should be able to do pinky taps like this without having your finger lock up, okay? We don't want any locked fourth fingers like that. Nice and loose, and with that thumb underneath. Today we're gonna start moving our bow down, our bow hand down, until you're going to run into the frog. Your thumb is not going to go into the frog. It's gonna go right there. This is in your book too, there's some pictures in there. Fingers go over the stick, about where that circle is about where my ring finger is. About in there, and then my first finger is on this area, on the silver or this grip part. Okay, so there's our bow grip. You can keep practicing it with it up here, moving it down a little bit at a time. Eventually this is going to be our playing position that was down there at that frog. Okay, now on page 10, we're going to review what we learned back a week ago about putting your fingers on the strings. Okay, we get your instrument up. Okay, and your hand moves down here. Just move your hand straight back. See how my wrist is nice and straight? We don't want our thumb to be laying down. Okay, that makes your wrist go in. We need our thumb to be standing up tall. Your first finger connects at the neck by the first finger line, not down here by the middle line. Then your fingers don't go on as well. Got to be up to that first line so your fingers can go straight down on the string. Okay, so again, your thumb is going to be right behind that first tape. Your first finger curves straight down onto the first tape. Second finger goes onto the second tape. Third finger and second finger are close together. I don't have tapes on this instrument, but those two are close together. And then fourth finger. Okay, that's our red finger pattern. So on the middle of page 10, you're going to practice this red finger pattern ladder 3 or 4 times, just pizzicato to start with. So when there's a 0, that means that you play an open string because you're not putting any fingers down on the string. So this is the D string. Then there's a 1, you're going to put your first finger onto the tape, so you have one finger pressing that string down to that first tape. And then you're going to put 2 fingers on when there's the 2. And then 3 fingers. Keep 3 fingers on. We're not letting these fingers fly off. They're staying on. 3, and then 4. Don't let your wrist collapse in. 4s go longer, and then come down. Just peel 1 finger off at a time. Okay, I'm going to play it with my bow. Oops. My bow over here. I'm going to play it with my bow, so you can pizzicato along. You should do this 3 or 4 times in a row. Okay, I'm going to do it on the D string, and then actually we're going to start on the G string and go up to the A string. And then if you're playing viola, play it on the C string. If you're playing violin, play it on the E string. Okay, here's the G string, starting on an open. Play the D string, pizzicato along. Ready, go. And finally A string. So pause the video, go back and do that a few times, or do it by yourself. When you feel confident enough, then try playing it with your bow at the same time. But make sure that you are not getting into bad habits when you do that. Make sure you stay consistent on keeping your bow grip correct and not letting your wrist come in when you are putting them together. Okay, the bottom of page 10 is where we practiced our Name That Tune songs, right there, down there at the very bottom. So when we have those numbers, when it says 2, 1, open, you're gonna have 2 fingers down. So 2, 1, open. And you can practice it with your air instrument. Put your instrument down and practice it. So you go, and I'm gonna touch my thumb down. That helps me keep this round shape. You don't have to, as long as you keep your thumb relaxed, you can just put your fingers down. So it's like 2, 1, open, 2, 1, open. So practice those, just saying them out loud, singing them. We're gonna play them on the D string. You're gonna pizzicato first, and then after you feel confident after practicing for a few days, try using your bow, okay? This is the first one to name that tune, which is Hot Cross Buns. Okay, so this is on the D string. I'm starting with 2 fingers on the string because it's a 2, 1, open. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. 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 Okay, the next one is Mary Had a Little Lamb. Let's try playing it on the A string this time. You can play this on any string. Just follow along with the finger numbers, and we're going to play it on the A string this time. Again, pizzicato first, air play with your air instrument, saying the finger numbers, and then work, and then get up to where you're playing it with your bow. 1, 2, ready. Oh, this is your first note. Make sure it sounds like this. 2, ready, go. Rest. Rest. Next line. Okay, so once you're through with that, with practicing those so that you feel really confident and comfortable, we go on to the next page, talking about our musical alphabet. Okay, so our musical alphabet, again, is just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We just use those first letters of the alphabet, and we assign each of those to one of the notes on our instrument. So every time we put a finger down for violin and viola, every time you put a finger down, it's going to make the pitch go up by 1 note name. Okay, so on the D string, and you have your open D string, when you put your first finger down, that makes it go up 1 pitch, so then it goes up to the note is E. When you put 2 fingers down, it goes up to the next one, which is F sharp. Our sharp symbol is that it's like, looks like a hashtag, but it's a sharp. It's like a middle name for our F. F natural, F all by itself is a different note. So we're gonna make sure we call this one F sharp. So when we put 2 fingers down on the D string, that note is called F sharp. And when we put 3 fingers down on the D string, that note is G. And then when we put 4 fingers down, that note is A, which is the same as your open A string. They're the exact same note. You can play them on open A, or you can play it with your 4th finger. So again, we have D, 1 finger, E, 2 fingers, F sharp, 3 fingers, G, 4 fingers, A. Which again, the same. Okay, and so if you see, so when we also have some open string rhythms for you to practice. And then at the bottom of the page, there's those quarter notes that have a letter name inside of them. When you see that letter name, that tells you which note to play. So on that, it's going to be exactly like we did with our open string ladders, except you're going to play 4 for each one. So on the D string, because it starts with D, it says D, 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 D. I'm going to pizzicato it. D, 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 E, 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 and so on, all the way up to your A, and then you do those again and come all the way down. Now on the next pages, and again, pizzicato those, and then play with your bow. On the next pages, on page 12 and 13, there are all of your songs that we didn't start learning them, but you are welcome to start learning them. You should be able to figure them out based on what the note names are. Also, I'm going to, we're going to work on those together in our class. Okay, so that should be it for this week. We're going to talk more about tuning and about learning how to play our songs, putting together our bows and our finger numbers and our note names. So this week, really make sure that even though we're putting them together, that you're not that you're still having good, consistent position. Anyway, great. Thanks, you guys. Have a great week.